My mother always told me one should wear clean underpants in case one is in an accident.
One was already in an accident.
It doesn't mean one won't be in another, especially if I'm driving.
The Adhesive Duck Deficiency wasn't a premiere or a finale, it didn't introduce any important new characters, and it didn't have any special guest stars. It was just a run-of-the-mill installment in which Sheldon helps Penny get to a hospital after she slips in the bathtub, while Leonard, Howard, and Raj get stoned in the desert. But despite the fact that even the writers and producers probably didn't realize it at the time, the Adhesive Duck Deficiency was the perfect episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Right, that was so good! Sweetie and meaty at the same time.
Debuting on CBS September 24th, 2007, The Big Bang Theory was an ensemble sitcom that mostly focused on Caltech physicists and roommates Leonard Hofstadter and Sheldon Cooper. Their lives begin to slowly change after Leonard falls in love with Penny, an aspiring actress who moves into the apartment across the hall. Along with the friendship between Sheldon, Leonard, and their co-workers Howard and Raj, Leonard and Penny's romance was one of the central threads of the whole series. But these days, if you ask most fans what the strongest and most interesting relationship on the show was, they'll probably tell you it was the unlikely friendship between Sheldon and Penny. We say unlikely because the two characters are about as different from each other as they could possibly be.
I was wondering if you could maybe teach me a little physics.
A little physics?
Sheldon is the nerdiest nerd on a show featuring 4 world-class scientists. He's socially inept in the extreme and only cares about science and science fiction. 2 things Penny has 0 interest in, and Penny, on the other hand, is a party animal. She's the most socially adept character on the show, and her interests include things like her clothes, her love life, and her acting career, none of which Sheldon seems to have the slightest understanding of. Naturally, those differences put the characters at odds, and right from the start, they love to make wisecracks at each other's expense.
Ooh, I thought I smelled pizza.
That's remarkable. If pepperoni were an explosive substance, you could replace German shepherds at our nation's airports.
Despite that, a friendship between the two also begins to emerge, producing some of the most memorable moments of the show's first 2 seasons. Those moments include, for example, the iconic scene in Season 1's The Pancake Batter Anomaly, in which a sick Sheldon convinced a reluctant Penny to sing Soft Kitty to him while she put Vapo Rub on his chest. But it wouldn't really be until the 8th episode of the 3rd season, The Adhesive Duck Deficiency, that the full potential of Sheldon and Penny's odd couple-like pairing would truly become clear. The episode begins with Leonard, Howard, and Raj camping in the desert so that they can observe a meteor shower. Sheldon isn't with them, but likely due to his stubborn and headstrong personality, they don't seem all too upset about it.
Too bad Sheldon couldn't come with us.
Yeah, it's just not the same without him.
Meanwhile, back at home, Sheldon hears Penny calling for help from her apartment. He dashes over only to discover that she slipped in the shower and dislocated her shoulder. She needs his assistance to get up, get dressed, and get to the hospital, and right from the start, it's clear that Sheldon is the absolute wrong man for the job. Despite her literally screaming for help, he stops at every door along the way, the apartment door, her bedroom door, and the bathroom door, to knock and wait for permission to enter. And as she lays on the floor of the tub, clearly in pain, he stands cluelessly in the doorway explaining why tubs are slippery and how he has adhesive duck stickers on the floor of his own tub to prevent such accidents.
They're whimsical because ducks have neither a need for nor the ability to use umbrellas.
Those ducks are obviously the source of the episode's title, and Penny's failure to have something like them could certainly be characterized as a deficiency. But as the episode will soon make apparent, the real adhesive duck deficiency is the same thing that made Leonard, Howard, and Raj glad to be away from Sheldon for a while. Namely, his inability to function in the world as most other people do. And from the moment he arrives in Penny's bathroom, Sheldon's complete inability to read social cues is on sharp display. When Penny moans in agony, he obliviously babbles about his shower ducks, and when she needs help getting clothing out of her dresser, he comments on the lack of organization in her underwear drawer.
I see no organizational system in here whatsoever. Which panties do you wear on Mondays?
In the car, Sheldon makes her wait in frustration as he meticulously adjusts a mirror, only to have to start again after moving his seat forward. And on the drive over, he ignores her pleas to go faster while rudely lecturing her about the dangers of ignoring her check engine light, Spock's job on the Enterprise, and how the Chinese character she has tattooed on her back doesn't mean what she thinks it does. Finally, at the hospital, Sheldon tries to help Penny fill out her admission forms, but only succeeds in wearing her out. out. She begs him to stop being his obtuse self for a moment and at least try to comfort her, but Sheldon has no idea how to do that. The best he can muster is to creepily tell her, "Everything's going to be fine, Sheldon's here," while awkwardly trying and failing to find a way to make physical contact with her in a comforting way.
Thanks, that's much better.
Ultimately, the two wind up back at home, where Penny, high on painkillers, asks Sheldon to tuck her into bed. Drug-addled though she may be, she gives him one last chance to come through by prompting him to sing Soft Kitty for her. He's reluctant at first, but finally gives her what she wants. By the time the song is over, she's beaming at him, having at least been provided with a modicum of sincere human warmth. It's an incredible moment because the pancake batter anomaly established that Sheldon's mother used to sing Soft Kitty to him when he was sick. Penny, a character of high emotional intelligence, eventually realizes it's the only way of comforting another person that Sheldon truly understands, and her delight at being able to teach him how to care for her the way she did for him when he was sick is obvious. It's a lesson only she alone could have taught him, and it proves the same qualities that make Sheldon and Penny opposites also make them ideal friends.
Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. I've got all night, Sheldon.
The Adhesive Duck Deficiency contains some of the series' best writing and funniest jokes, and even Leonard, Howard, and Raj benefit from the story, which allows them to briefly step outside of Sheldon's larger-than-life shadow and just be goofy as a trio. It's also the episode where Parsons and Cuoco proved they had some of the best comedic chemistry on the show. In fact, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that almost any episode where they spend an extended amount of time on screen together is pretty much guaranteed to be hilarious. Season 7's The Scavenger Vortex, which finds them working together to win a scavenger hunt, being a prime example.
What are you doing? You have to start with the edges.
Well, there's no right way, Sheldon. I already found a few pieces that fit.
Yeah, well, take them apart and start with the edges.
But what truly makes the Adhesive Duck Deficiency perfect is what it does for Sheldon and Penny's respective characters, and their relationship. The breakthrough she helps him make is his first meaningful growth in the series up until that point, and it confirms his obnoxious behavior isn't malicious, but rather genuinely rooted in an inability to understand how to behave. At the same time, the mere fact that she kept looking for his human side and refused to just write him off as a jerk establishes she's not as indifferent to him as she often seems.
Then it's like that movie WALL-E at the end. You're so full of love, and you can save a plant and get fat people out of the floaty chairs.
That may be why going forward in the series, Penny becomes something of a big sister to Sheldon. Future episodes find her fiercely protecting him from those who don't understand him as well as himself. And when it comes to the trials of day-to-day living, she'll be there for him more consistently than any of the rest of his friend group. This is rarely exemplified better than in Season 9's The Celebration Experimentation, which finds Penny coaxing an overwhelmed Sheldon out of the bathroom at his star-studded birthday party.
If what you need is to spend your birthday in a bathroom, I'm happy to do it with you.
Well, everyone will think I'm weird.
Similarly, Sheldon always attempts to care for Penny when she seems like she needs it. Granted, it comes up a lot less frequently on the show, and his efforts often come off as condescending, but episodes like Season 7's The Occupation Recalibration, which finds Sheldon supporting Penny's decision to quit her day job and fully pursue her dream of acting, a decision Leonard couldn't seem to understand, proves Sheldon truly cares about her. As a direct result of the character and relationship building that starts in the Adhesive Duck Deficiency, Sheldon and Penny eventually grow into the kind of close friends who tell each other secrets they don't even tell their spouses. Their bond is never depicted as anything other than platonic, but it's so strong and emotionally intimate. Both of their respective romantic partners do, at various times, have difficulty understanding it.
I've decided to take your advice and have arranged to go on a date with Amy Farrah Fowler.
Oh, that's great. Have fun.
Wait. You have to drive me.
What?
It's the kind of complex relationship you don't see on a lot of sitcoms, and that's kind of the point. The friendship between Leonard, Sheldon, Howard, and Raj was definitely fun, and Leonard and Penny's romance was no doubt well executed, but those relationships are both fairly standard to the form. The friendship between Sheldon and Penny, on the other hand, was something totally unique to The Big Bang Theory. That's why everyone still remembers it today, and why the episode that defined it was absolutely perfect.
Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur.
kitty,
Happy
little ball of...
So, What do you think? Was the Adhesive Duck Deficiency the perfect episode of The Big Bang Theory? And if it wasn't, what was? Let us know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely find others you like if you check out the rest of the channel. As always, thank you for subscribing to Nerdstalgic.